eventually retreating one after another. Making a push now with Mars. He's probably an even amount of number here. And neither team has got any trade up yet. However, it looks like the team to the north are heading into trade, as there are quite a few markets up here. And Mars saying that he's trying to throw away his galleons to increase his population. As you can see, he is capped with population. And if Mars is going to be pushing with the paladins, which he is currently producing already, then he's going to have to lose some of his boats. So this is going to be quite bad for the team in the north, as they are going to lose a lot of boats and they're going to lose water control, as they're throwing their boats away in order to transition to land. And Mars now producing a lot of paladins, getting a lot of other military buildings up, such as castles, and siege onagers now cutting through. And it looks like CSC Duck has seen this coming, and he has actually starting to build a lot of castles up here, garrisoning his elite unit inside of there, the Mangudai, or Mangudai, I'm not sure how it's pronounced. The Mangudai, yeah, that's right. Okay, so they're now through, and that's some paladins now coming through for Mars. And let's see what damage he can do here. There are a lot of castles up. That's 3 so far, another one coming up here. And now water control is going to go into favour of the team to the south, the CSC clan. And they're pushing through. Ares is not going to be able to hold it with this amount of boats. There is a hell of a lot of boats coming up now for the CSC team. So water control is going to be firmly in favour of them. However, this could change things drastically. They have no military buildings out whatsoever. CSC Bieber only just producing stables right now, and let's see if he's actually getting any researches. He's just researching bloodlines, which gives their cavalry an extra 20 HP. And he's not researching anything else, so he's probably still got knights at the moment until he starts to research the cavalier, which is the knight upgrade. Meanwhile, however, Mars is pushing through here and managed to do a fair amount of damage. That is 4 castles right there though, or sorry, 3. He managed to stop this one from being built, so that's being able to bring in a lot of damage. However, Mars is able to kill off quite a few villagers, so he's firmly in the lead now. And it looks so like over here they are eventually taking water control, and that's not so important now because they have a lot of boats on the field, so they're unable to produce as many soldiers on the map. A lot of stables now going up for CSC Bieber, still not producing any units however. More castles now going up for CSC Duck, and he's going to try and hold this as best he can, but he has no units on the ground. That's now siege rams coming in for Mars, and if he can take out these castles quickly enough, he'll be able to do a hell of a lot of damage. Water control is definitely now in favour of the CSC team. Ares being forced to push right back, and if they are too close to the water, they're not going to be able to protect their trade. However, they've built a market here, which will mean that the trade carts won't be picked off, as that is well out of range of these boats here. Back to the main action. It looks like CSC Duck is managing to push Mars back. He's managed to take out 1 castle, but he has very few units on the field. Although saying that Ares is now bringing in trebuchets and more siege weapons. Those onagers absolutely killing everything that touches them. CSC Jeffrey and Wrath now having a face-off on the water. And it looks like Wrath is going to be able to take this. He has a lot of units on the water there. However, CSC Duck now completely dominating the back of the map, with Ares having no water control whatsoever. But is that really that important at this moment in time? Those onagers absolutely kicking ass. And another castle finally being put up there for the CSC Duck. He has another 2 castles over here and another castle down here. So he has a lot of castles available to him. CSC Bieber still not producing any units from his stables, but not necessarily required to do so, as Duck is managing to hold this for the time being, however not very well. Ares now pushing forward, building a castle to help with the forward defense, and 3 trebuchets now picking off buildings extremely quickly. CSCB but still deciding to, here he is, he's finally building some cavaliers and he's researching paladin. However, until that is researched, he's not going to be able to do too much damage. Wrath having another big battle over here with CSC Jeffrey. CSC Jeffrey is going to probably lose that one unless he can reinforce fast enough. However, up here we have CSC Duck with a lot of boats on the field. He is able to take out Ares' docks. Although, personally, I don't think Ares is too bothered about that. If he loses his docks, that's fine. He's able to transition very heavily into ground units, and they are pushing across the map now. More siege rams coming in, more onagers coming in as well. Excuse me. So that's 2 castles down, and it looks like this one's about to go down as well, extremely quickly. Still, CSC Duck, however, building more and more castles as fast as he can. That's another 3 there, and another 3 going up. However, on the other side of things, Ares is building as many castles as he also can to protect this push. Eagle Warriors coming in for Wrath, which is going to help against cavalry. And that's quite a lot of units. It surprised me how fast they've been able to transition into a ground force, considering just 5 minutes ago CSC Bieber had no research whatsoever. No unit research whatsoever, however. Okay, so Ares now pushing forward slowly, and that's a lot of onagers right there. If he's able to land some good hits, he's going to be able to do some serious damage. Even with paladins, they are certainly killed off quite quickly with onagers in the mix. So, it's looking very much in favour of Mars, Wrath and Ares right now. At the back of the map, we have Duck just picking off these docks as slowly or as fast as he wishes. He's not been able to do much damage at all though. CSC Bieber backing this up, but they've very cleverly moved their trade route to be more to the centre of the map, and that's enabling them to get a lot of gold income to support the production of paladins and siege weapons. Mars with a huge force of paladins there, and those onagers just cutting through buildings extremely quickly. More castles coming up now, castle after castle after castle to protect this area. And the CSC clan is really being pushed back. If they cannot get enough units out quickly enough, they will not be able to stand a chance against this. And castles just slowly being picked off as these trebuchets are under no threat whatsoever, being protected there by the paladins and also by the Eagle Warriors. And these onagers, look at that! He's able to just cut through that so quickly. Duck's unit count almost halved there in an instant, with those onagers just causing so much damage. And that's a good trade. 3 onagers for about 30 or 40 of these elite Mangudais. So, they are making a very good progress into their base, and they are going to be able to push this and break this very quickly. Wrath holding water control here, so no units are being able to be landed on this area here. CSC Duck still picking away at these docks, but Mars is not using the docks, and that really does not bother him. Getting some stables out here, so he's able to produce units closer to where they're attacking. And that's a lot of paladins, and it's not up against much at all. 5 castles now for Duck. He's building them as fast as he's losing them, and he's not going to be able to keep it up because he will eventually run out of stone. And where am I looking? There we go. Took me a while to find that. And that's right, he's only got enough stone now for 1 more castle, although saying that, there is a lot of resources being fed to CSC Duck. And that was 5 castles a second ago. It's now 4. It's now going to turn down to 3. Now 2. And they are really pushing this gap very well. That's a lot of trebuchets and a lot of backup castles. And it really doesn't look like the CSC clan is going to be able to hold this off. It's only a matter of time before they are cut to shreds. Having water control did have a lot of early protection for both of the teams. However, this land force is now pretty much unstoppable. There is nothing that they can do to prevent this push. There is a lot of siege rams there and not enough units to break it. We now have Ares pushing forward with yet more castles and yet more siege onagers. And a little tip for you, as they've done here, building castles as an offensive structure is extremely handy and extremely effective as well. If you are playing a game and all of a sudden you've got a lot of stone available to you, instead of building loads of castles defensively, build one castle, save your stone, and then once you push to the enemy's base, then build all your castles in their base. That way you're constantly pushing forward and you've got a very defensive, a very strong structure to use as an offensive structure, and it works very well. So they are now pushing through, killing off as many villages as they can, destroying the trade route, and it honestly looks like Ares, Mars and Wrath have won this. There is no chance now for the CSC clan. They are unable to produce enough units to combat this, and although Duck now has full control of the water, he's just not able to do the damage he needs to be able to combat this. CSC Jeffrey's sneakily getting some siege rams around there, but he's not going to be able to do anything. It's way too late to make a difference. And they've resigned, and that's that. So that's a brilliant game right there. Extremely interesting to see how they played that, and they did play it very well, using water control to build up their economy and then tech up, and then once they'd managed to get enough tech, they pushed through this gap and managed to wreak havoc on their opponents, as their opponents had no tech and no production facilities for ground units whatsoever. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed that. Please leave a rating if you would be so kind to, and yeah, I will see you very soon, bringing you hopefully more great matchups. I've been ZeroEmpires, thank you very much.